The weight you choose. There's a moment most people don't talk about. It's not the moment something bad happens to you. It's the moment right after, when you're standing in the wreckage of a decision, a diagnosis, a breakup, a failure, and you realize nobody is coming to carry this for you. Not your parents, not your friends, not the version of you from 5 years ago who assumed adulthood would come with an instruction manual. Just you and the weight. This isn't a video about positivity. It's about what to do with that weight once you understand it's yours, because it always was. We grow up on rescue stories. Someone shows up, something changes. The problem gets solved from the outside. So we wait. We wait for the right person, the right job, the right apology, the right diagnosis of what's actually wrong with us, as if identifying the label is the same as carrying the weight. Here's the uncomfortable part. Waiting for rescue isn't laziness. It's often disguised as effort. You can spend years working on yourself in a way that's really just a more sophisticated form of waiting. Reading the books, journaling the feelings, doing everything except the one thing that actually moves the weight, which is deciding, today, to act on less certainty than you'd like. I think about a friend who spent 3 years figuring out whether to leave a job that was quietly wearing him down. Every conversation ended the same way. More information, more pro-con lists, more waiting for the moment it would become obvious. It never became obvious. He left anyway, on a Tuesday, with no more clarity than he'd had the first day he considered it. The clarity came after, not before. That's the part nobody tells you. You don't think your way into a new life. You act your way into one, and the thinking catches up. Here's a trade nobody warns you about. The more honest you become, the smaller your circle gets. That's not a flaw in honesty. It's the cost of it. Most relationships are built on a quiet agreement to perform a version of yourself that's easy to be around. Agreeable, low maintenance, undemanding. The moment you stop performing that, some people leave. Not because you did anything wrong, but because the arrangement they liked was the fictional you, not the real one. This is why people say honesty doesn't make you popular. It's true, and it's not a tragedy. It's a filter. The people who stay after you stop performing are the only people who were ever actually in the room with you. Everyone else was in the room with a character. I'm not going to tell you this doesn't hurt. It does. Losing people, even people who were only ever loyal to your performance, still feels like loss. But there's a difference between mourning a person and mourning an act. And most of what we grieve when we become more honest is the act, not the person. At some point you have to ask a question most people avoid their entire lives. What am I actually responsible for here? Not what's fair, not who started it, not whose fault it technically is. Just, what is mine to carry, and what have I been carrying that was never mine? This cuts both ways, and both directions are uncomfortable. Some people carry guilt for things they had no power over. A parent's unhappiness, a friend's choices, a childhood they didn't design. That weight was never theirs, and setting it down isn't selfish, it's accurate. Other people do the opposite. They've built an entire identity around being the one things happened to, the ex who ruined them, the boss who held them back, the timing that was never right. And somewhere in that story, real as the original wound might have been, the weight that actually is theirs to carry, the choices available to them today, goes unclaimed. Neither of these is a moral failing. They're both just inventory errors. The work isn't punishment for getting the inventory wrong. It's just correcting it as many times as it takes. People talk about discipline like it's a personality trait some people are lucky enough to have. It isn't. It's closer to a muscle that atrophies the moment you stop asking anything of it. But here's what discipline is actually for, because I think this gets lost. It's not about punishing yourself into a better version of your life. It's about not needing to feel motivated in order to keep a promise to yourself. Motivation is weather. Discipline is the roof. The smallest version of this is the most honest one. It's not the dramatic overhaul, the total life reinvention starting Monday. It's the small promise kept on the day you didn't feel like keeping it. Because the version of you that shows up on the easy days was never in question. The question was always about the version of you that shows up on the day everything in you wants to skip it. So, here's where this actually lands. The wait was never optional. It was always yours. The choices, the honesty, the inventory, the discipline. What's optional is whether you spend your life resenting that fact or whether you pick it up on purpose. There's a strange thing that happens when you stop waiting for someone to lighten the load and just start carrying it. It doesn't get lighter, but you get stronger. And at some point, almost without noticing, the weight stops being something that's happening to you and starts being something you're doing, deliberately, on your own terms, one decision at a time. That's not a rescue story. It's better than one. A rescue is something that happens to you once. This is something you get to keep choosing every single day for the rest of your life.